picture of the playoff picture. I kind of jumped the gun here talking about how I'm scared of the Chiefs, but hey, they're ninth place behind the Texans that we kind of rode off. At the same time, if I'm the number 2 Patriots, I do not want to see them at all.
Of course. What's the question, Kato?
Are you panicking? Or is it time to panic? Are we nearing time to panic?
You sadly see these stories sometimes with pro athletes. You see them a lot, lottery winners. People who grew up in very meager means and were fine, were happy. You know what I mean? Like they were living their life.
Yes.
And then got incredible wealth for a few years or a decade or whatever, a period of time, and then lose the wealth and they can't remember that they used to be able to, they were happy before the money. Like that they even though they had lived that way, they can't. That's how I feel looking at tiebreakers with the Texans and the Jags. I grew up in that world. We're like, can we scratch our way into the playoffs? Like, oh, I'm trying to figure out, like, if this team loses and this team wins, it's good for us to make the playoffs. That was my whole life as a Chiefs fan, and it was fine. But now I've had 7 years of eating caviar.
Yeah.
And I'm not built for this world anymore. I'm not. I found myself this morning on that stupid athletic playoff predictor machine. Not just the predict, because you can toggle through and be like, if they win and they win.
No, you're
and
doing
the
all of
percentage.
them?
I'm going through it, and I'm like, I am all of a sudden trying to tease out when the Jags play the Colts, who do I need? And I'm like, this is what it's come to.
Yeah.
So that is a way to answer, kind of.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
So this is, Brew, this would be the math to it. They have 7 games left. They are favored in all 7. Whether they should be or not, they are. If they go 7-0, obviously they're in. If they go 6-1, and that would mean they finish 11-6, they almost assuredly are in. 5-2, it gets dicey because they don't have these tiebreakers.
Yes.
And 4-3, they're done. They're out. They're not making it at 9-8 with the bad tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So I believe they will make the playoffs, and I believe that if they make the playoffs having won 6 of their last 7, to your point, and where we have seen them, the level they played against Baltimore, the level they played against Detroit, the level, I know they're a terrible team, but the total start to finish domination they did to the Raiders, I do think that, the 30 to nothing.
That's how far it's gone.
No, I just mean.
Okay, let's not start talking about dominating the Las Vegas Raiders because we know that means nothing. Time to panic for the, Nick took a long time to get to it about the whole making all the money then losing it, which I get all that, but I think he is admitting, right? Like when you're a big Chiefs fan and you're on TV and they're winning, like you just keep saying, the Chiefs are going to win, the Chiefs are going to win, the Chiefs are going to win, and they're winning and it's like it's easy, and he doesn't have to come in many Mondays like this and have to explain why the Chiefs lost. Whereas if they won and they beat the Broncos, he's all, I'm telling you right now, he's already thinking in his head all the things that he wants to do. He's in his mind weeks ago, he's like, okay, we're gonna beat the Broncos. And when we beat the Broncos, this is what I'm thinking about for this banner. This is going to be my take. I'm gonna have all you like you're already starting to think about all that type of stuff. And it's fun, it's exciting, it's interesting, it's energizing. Having to reconcile the loss is so much harder work, so much harder to figure out, so much, it's just difficult. And again, since Nick loves to play the heel, he brings on all the attention, all the negativity. He wants it. It's why he drops the banners. It's why he does all that stuff. And when the Broncos won, there were more people that were excited to see what Nick Wright was going to have to say about the loss, rather than just celebrating the Broncos' win. It's the way it works. It's the way it is. It was the same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles when they beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. People were more like, I can't wait to see what Nick has to say now. People just want to see someone struggle, right? It's, just is what it is. But is it time to panic for the Chiefs? Listen, the Chargers, they are really hurting with injuries. They are just so decimated with injuries, and their O-line is just so awful. Aaron Rodgers now is not playing. You got the Mason Rudolph. It seems like when I'm recording this, I don't have all the answers on Aaron, but it seems like he's legitimately hurt. His wrist, a broken wrist, whatever it may officially be. But now you got Mason Rudolph. I don't know what that's going to look like. Colts seem pretty set. I know they could completely collapse, and technically the Patriots, Ray. Like, some of these teams can completely collapse, but even if they do kind of take a little bit of a bender, still seems that they should still be able to keep that gap. And so now you have the Jags at 6-4, and it's like, can they maintain? I don't believe in the Jags. Yeah, they rock the Chargers, but it's like, I don't know. I'm going to believe in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's like, okay, so you're kind of more comfortable there. And, the Texans would have to leapfrog. It would have to be really ultimately between the Texans and the Jags at that point. So, so you're really looking at, more than anything, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Jags. And that is where you have to kind of start looking at their schedule, looking at this, looking at that. And, it's concerning. And to me, you're really looking at the Chiefs, where it's like, okay, you're playing the Cowboys, you're playing the Colts. You should be able to win those games if you actually truly are a great team that just had a rough go at it. And so, yeah, I think you should feel uncomfortable, but I'm not so sure I'd panic. And again, maybe it's because I just have such a deep belief in Mahomes, Andy, and Spags. As I've consistently said, they're the best trio in the NFL, and that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are the best coach-quarterback duo of all time from my viewpoint. That's where I'm just kind of like, I don't know, they're 5-5. I mean, and right, they don't have the tiebreaker, so that obviously hurts them. So, I guess if they're 6-5 and the Jags are 6-5, they're still now technically they would be, they would still not be in the playoffs. And now the Chargers are interesting. You'd have to look at the tiebreakers there as well, because now even if the Chiefs beat the Chargers, they're split. But then I think the tiebreaker goes to the divisional record then as well, and the Chargers beat the Broncos, and now the Chiefs. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, you'd have to kind of start looking at all those things. I never really stay up to date with what all those tiebreakers are. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what whoever's in the playoffs is in the playoffs, and I'll go from there. Like, I can't, that last week is always so stressful because there's like 18 different scenarios. Like, if the Miami Dolphins win and the Bengals lose, but then the Broncos win, and you're just like, oh my God, what are we saying, man? Like, what's this is, I don't want to do math right now. I don't want to have to do riddles. So I'm definitely kind of just like, I don't know. We'll just wait and see. But I think the Colts game is going to be incredibly telling, because the Colts have obviously been a great team, and this is what I had said earlier today, but it doesn't feel like their soul. And I don't really use words like this, but I don't know how else to put it, but it's like the soul of this team. I've talked about this throughout the whole course of the season, that I'm uninterested in constantly just talking about what these teams have done in the past and what we believe they'll do in the playoffs. And the Chiefs are a huge reason for that. The Chiefs and the Eagles. And I'm like, I just want to focus on what we see this season. And the Colts are a huge reason for that. And the Patriots are a huge reason for that, because I'm like, look how great they're playing. I don't want to have to keep saying, well, what is Daniel Jones going to look like in the playoffs? Can Drake May sustain this? It's like, that's not interesting to me. And so, but now that we're getting later into the season when it matters, when you do have to start to contemplate, okay, well, what will this team look like in the biggest moments? What can the Indianapolis Colts do against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? In week 4, week 5, week 6, I'm like, I don't really need to discuss that. I'm just focused on what I see right now. But now it's like, all right, no. Nick was saying, I can't wait. I hope I get to face Daniel Jones and the Colts. I hope I get to face the Patriots, right? Like, he's excited at that notion. And we're going to really find out the Colts. Because the Colts have been winning, but like, I don't know. There should still be a lot more comfortability to be like, I still think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And to be fair, like, that's what Nick said. That they're favored in every game. I'm sure they were favored against Denver, I assume. And yet they're still not coming away with the wins. The Chiefs at 4, what were they? 5-4 before the Broncos game, were favored to win the Super Bowl. They weren't even in the playoffs, and they had the best odds to win the Super Bowl. Now with that loss, they dropped to 5. So they're not even in the playoffs, and yet they still have the 5th best odds to win the Super Bowl. Pretty fascinating. And again, I don't get too lost in the odds. I don't really play that game, but it still is math. It still is interesting to me. So, there's clearly still a ton of belief in the Kansas City Chiefs, but it really is based on the foundation of, this is the Chiefs, this is Patrick Mahomes, this is Andy Reid, this is Spags, this team should be great. Xavier Worthy, Rashid Rice, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, right? Like there's a lot of juice here. We saw what they did against the Ravens. We saw what they did against the Lions, even when they were not healthy. We saw them battle with the Eagles and the Chargers, right? And so you're just like, this isn't losing to the Broncos. Losing to a division rival on the road is typically not, in a one-score game is typically not this devastating, oh my goodness, this is proof you're not good. The Broncos are the #1 team in the NFL right now. They have the first round bye, right? Hey, they have the first round bye, home field advantage, and the Chiefs were there with them in the final seconds. It's gotta count. It's gotta count for something. It's not everything. But to me, the Chiefs, if the Chiefs and the Jags played each other, I'm taking the Chiefs. If the Chiefs and the Chargers, and I've been a huge believer in the Chargers, but I don't think they have enough. It would have to be an absolute clinic and masterclass by Harbaugh, Jesse Matetter, and Herbert. Maybe they got it, and maybe the Chiefs just don't. But it's I'm still leaning Chiefs. If the Chiefs and the Steelers are playing each other, I'm leaning Chiefs, right? I'm just always going to lean Chiefs in a lot of these, in-betweeners. The Bills and the Chiefs. It's you would still probably think you're going to lean Chiefs, because it's the Chiefs. And the Bills and the Chiefs always come out on top in the playoffs. Maybe it leans more towards a true coin flip and whatnot. If the Broncos and the Chiefs played each other again in the playoff, it's no real good situation. I mean, it's kind of crazy because what could end up happening is the Chiefs limp in at 7, they have to play the Patriots or the Colts at 2, they win that game and then play the Broncos divisional round, right? That could be a very real scenario. I still think if you're any of these top teams, if you're the Colts, the Patriots, if you're any team in the playoffs right now, you rather play each other than the Chiefs. You rather play the Ravens or the Texans, the Jags, just the way I see it, especially in the playoffs where coaching matters to just a massive degree. I will want to go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars or Mason Rudolph Pittsburgh Steelers any day of the week over the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's going to be interesting because I could start to lose that take depending on how I see the Kansas City Chiefs play against the Indianapolis Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. Not the Chargers, not the rematch against the Broncos. It's what do you look against the Indianapolis Colts because they've been a very interesting team. They're not a division rival. They don't have Sean Payton, but they're not building this big, grand, special thing. It's they're an interesting team. They're a fascinating team. What do you do against them? The Dallas Cowboys have had a great offense, but kind of stagnated. Their defense has not been good, but they made some moves, and it's what do you do against a Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys right now? I don't know. It feels like you should be able to torch them defensively, offensively against their defense. And I don't know, you're telling me that Spags doesn't have an answer for Dak? And if he doesn't, then you're and it's short rest. I think it's a Sunday and then a Thursday when I looked at it before. So, does that make it Thanksgiving then? Is that the way that works? God, this is why people hate the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I looked it up real fast and it said, will Taylor Swift be attending Thanksgiving game for Kansas City Chiefs? Nobody cares. Why is that the very first link that pops up? I'm just gonna end it there. But Kansas City Chiefs, I'm still not panicking. I still got a ton of belief. But we got some games now that will really paint a clearer picture from two, me at least, as to what this season means for them. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs? Do you think it's time to panic? Are you panicking like Nick is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, do you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.